being a social worker is a huge responsibility. And I think that, no one should enter this career field thinking, oh, I just have a great heart and I want to help people and that's it. I'm going to be a social worker. Understanding community dynamics, understanding human behavior, understanding how to work effectively with resistant clients or clients that may, be challenging, or know that you're doing life work and that it's work far beyond with just the individual you're working with, far beyond the family or the community, is really impacting all. Part of my work as a social worker is really tied into social justice, tied into history. It's also tied into helping to improve community conditions, conducting research to be able to disseminate and also to help improve community conditions and families. As a social worker, you may work on a team that may be comprised of social workers, counselors, psychologists, teachers, nurses, doctors, a very interdisciplinary team with different schools of thought, different types of education, different educational levels. We're working with different youth groups or different social service groups and programs or advocacy groups. That takes cooperation and being able to be a great teammate. In terms of the profession of social work, there's definitely an underrepresentation of African American males and just men of color within the social profession. I understand that me pursuing this career field of social work was an area in which, individuals who share the same identity as me are underrepresented. And so that just helped to develop an even more level of understanding and also greater appreciation and responsibility for being a competent social worker who's effective in various different communities. There's always going to be a need for social work. There's always going to be a need for supporting for mental health services and programs. There's always going to be a need to help improve families, to help shape communities, and to really just, help shape policy and programs to really meet the needs of the people. Growing up in Kalamazoo is certainly something I'm very proud of as well, because currently where I'm at today in my career, I would not have been afforded the opportunities if I would not have probably grown up in Kalamazoo, and also had the opportunity to learn more about HBCUs, being a KPS graduate as well, and where I actually had the chance to be able to leave Kalamazoo to attend Jackson State University, which is a historically Black college and university in Jackson, Mississippi. And from there later, I had the opportunity to earn my master's from the University of Pittsburgh and later from Indiana University of Pennsylvania, and the rest is kind of history. But it all started right there in Kalamazoo. Oh, in high school, I was involved in a lot of different programs in high school at Lloyd Norks. I was in a marching band. I was formerly the drum major at Lloyd Norks as well. I also was in the orchestra, concert band, the choir, chess club. I mean, so many different programs, activities. And, those things really help to shape me to really be able to learn discipline, to also to gain an appreciation for the arts as well, in addition to really being able to learn how to really be able to work as a team. And I temporarily played on the football team too, but that didn't last too much long, that long. But again, I really was invested in the arts, and the arts really helped me to be able to have a really diverse mindset and perspective and really appreciate culture from around the world. Right out of high school, 18 years old, my birthday's in January, so I started that semester at KVCC that January. So I literally turned 18 when the class started. So I was young. And I was working at McDonald's, first job, one of my first early real jobs. And trying to go to school and trying to work, trying to make a new life for myself at 18 years old. And I recall specifically in my class, I was the only African-American male in my class. I was the youngest person in my class. And it was a struggle for me for a while. And in some sense, I kind of gave up, just being honest. I kind of gave up. I was like, maybe college isn't for me. Maybe this isn't for me. But my professor called home and my mom answered the phone. And when I came in the house, my mom kind of went off and was like, what are you doing? You're not going to class. You're not doing your homework and et cetera. And I tried to explain to my mom and I said, you know what, Mom, but I just did not see myself in that room, right? I did not see myself being an inner city from Kalamazoo, going to a suburban campus, the only African-American male, the youngest in the classroom. It just went over my head. If she would not have called my mother, I probably would have felt like everything was okay. And I knew that it wasn't. Well, the pep talk that she gave to my mom and that my mom later kind of griped at me about is what really helped me to kind of finally get my act together, because I knew that this was kind of my last opportunity in a sense to try to make this college thing work or try to do something for myself. And I remember when my mother dropped me off, she told me, she was like, hey, do your best. If you mess up, you're coming home, buddy. And I said, I promise you, mom, I'm not coming home. And 4 years later, I walked across that stage. And for me, just my professor calling my mom and kind of kicking some fire in me, really kind of inspired me, but also helped me because it showed that someone saw something in me that I did not see in myself at that time. I did not see in myself at that time. And she saw a future for me that I really couldn't see. Especially when we're young adults or children, we may not always see the future for ourselves, but sometimes adults can see that there's a future for us. And so when I began to kind of surround myself around people who wanted very similar things as me, that's when I began to also see a shift in my trajectory as well. And a shift in mindset also. And I think that that's also important to understand. And that, when you're young and you're coming through high school and you're approaching your college years, you are learning yourself. You're truly learning yourself. You're learning who you are. And trust me, you may think you know who you are today, but as you continue to grow and develop, you will learn that you are so much more than what you may have thought you were in high school. You'll be so much more than what you thought you may have been in college, because now you have the tools and the equipment to be competitive within the world.